my friends. Good evening. Today I am going to talk about Gilgit-Baltistan. Gilgit-Baltistan certainly is a place, so we should not ask what is it. But where is this place is? That's a very important question. To cut the long story short, I say it is an Indian territory now under illegal occupation of Pakistan. The question is how it went into the Pakistanis' hand and how the British and Pakistan committed treachery to hand over this land to Pakistan, and how the great game unfolding now there between China and Pakistan on one side and India on the other side. China has already planned and executed its China-Pakistan economic corridor through this guilty Baltistan area, which India has certainly opposed. And what is India's option? And are we heading for the Third World War over this piece of land in the mountain? So first I will talk about its geography. Then I will go a little bit of its past and modern history. And the thirdly, I will discuss what is actually happening there with the all three nuclear powers. I am Orindam for today's speaker. Here I have placed a map. This is a map of Jammu and Kashmir in its entirety. That means Jammu and Kashmir, what it was in 1947, just before independence. Here we see the yellow portion, that is Jammu and Kashmir, what is under India's control now. And this blue portion or green portion, whatever it is under Pakistan. And here this Sakskom Valley, this part of Gilgit-Baltistan, but Pakistan has handed over to China illegally. And here Aksai Chin, it was part of Ladakh, but occupied by China in 1963. I will come over all this little bit in detail in course of my talk. What is important here, if Gilgit-Baltistan is India's land, then I have marked it with blue arrow. Here we are having, okay, I will point it out, this portion, 106 kilometer land, we are having direct border with Afghanistan. So if we get this direct border with Afghanistan, then we need not to go to Iran, Chabahar, to reach Afghanistan or Central Asia for that matter. And why this is important? Because if we compare this with our chicken neck, I think it is though metaphorically called chicken neck, though I have put actually a chicken here, but the chicken neck is actually our Siliguri corridor. That is the entryway to go to our entire northeast here. This Siliguri corridor is only 25 kilometer wide. And here we are having the border with China, Nepal, Bhutan, here Bangladesh, and of course India is there. So we are having border in our chicken neck of 5 important countries, and it is only 25 kilometers wide, mind it. And in comparison to that, how big or how important this 106 kilometer would be. It is the location of Gilgit-Baltistan on Google Earth. we can see it is entirely the mountainous area. This is Gilgit River. This is Jalalabad. And here is the aerial view. All we can see the snow-clad mountains throughout the year. And one important thing, out of 8,000 Dars, 5 of them are in Gilgit-Baltistan only. What are these 8,000 Dars? 8,000 Dars are the 8,000 feet high, rather sorry, 8,000 meter high mountain peaks in Gilgit-Baltistan. Here the Skardu-Gilgit road. See how precarious this is. It is one of the famous photograph. We would be seeing it in many of the tourist guides and elsewhere, just to show the exotic place. Here the political division of Gilgit-Baltistan, GB in short. This yellow portion is Gilgit. This is Gilgit, the entire Gilgit portion. The lime colored portion is Baltistan, and this is Diamar. Diamar is very important. I have already marked it here. In this Diamar, they are going to construct, they are means Pakistan and China, going to construct the Diamar Basha Dam. And this is on Indus River. I have shown it here. Indus River is very important for source of water of our northern India. And if they construct a dam, our water supply going to be severely affected. And total area of this GB, this means Gilgit-Baltistan, is 73,000 square kilometers. I mention it here. This Gilgit-Baltistan is 6 times bigger than Pak-occupied Kashmir, what we know. They call it Azad Kashmir. I don't know what kind of Azadi they have given. They have means Pakistan has given to the Kashmiris. Here a bit of ancient history of Gilgit-Baltistan. This region has a history of 4,000 years old, and during this period, its administration has changed many hands, like any other place on earth. First, it was under the Western Khaganate, then it went to the Tibetan Empire, then to the Indian rulers, and Indian rulers also finally it was under the Sikh Empire. I will come to that, the Anglo-Sikh War and how it became part of Jammu and Kashmir. And at that time, Buddhism was the main religion and Sanskrit was the written language minded. Sanskrit and Buddhism. And Islam was introduced only in the 14th century in GB by the Sufis. And here we have a lot of testimony of Buddhism in Gilgit-Baltistan once upon a time. We see here Angel Stupa, and Stupa we know it is religion to Buddhism only. And here we find statue of Buddha engraved on the high mountains. And see here again, all the hell broke loose. And it happened only a few weeks back, not in Gilgit-Baltistan, but another adjacent district or province of GB, that is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Here what happened during normal excavation, they discovered a full-size statue of Buddha. And one mad mullah came and declared fatwa that yes, it is against our religion, so destroy the statue of Buddha. The 1700 years old Buddha, you can imagine how a precious treasure it is for the civilization of the humanity. But this mad mullah destroyed it. Without realizing, the statue came much before Islam was born and what he is believing now. Here I already mentioned Anglo-Sikh War. Anglo-Sikh War was fought in 1845-1846 between the East India Company and the Sikh Empire. Here important thing is in 1845 India still didn't come under direct rule of British Queen or King, British Empire in short. It was still under East India Company. So the company soldiers fought with the Sikh Empire. Sikh Empire was defeated and it resulted in cessation of entire area, that is Gilgit Baltistan, Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, and it was given to the Jammu and Kashmir under British suzerainty. That is very important. This is 1845. From 1846, Gilgit Baltistan officially became part of Jammu and Kashmir, and this is very important. And Jammu and Kashmir was ruled by the Dogra rulers. These Dogras are a caste that is mainly live in Jammu and Kashmir area, eastern Pakistan and Haryana of India present. So what happened after 1846? It went to the British, but in 1935, British took lease of Gilgit Baltistan for 60 years. So when it became part of Jammu and Kashmir, the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir put Brigadier Ghansar Singh, his photograph is here, Ghansar Singh, as the governor of Gilgit Baltistan. This happened in 1st August 1947, just 15 days or 14 days before our independence. These dates will be very important now onwards. First, this happened the 1st August 1947. Here we see Maharaja Hari Singh, the last ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, princely state. Jammu and Kashmir was at that time. And we got our independence in 15th August 1947, and Maharaja signed instrument of accession on 26th October. Here very important date, it is this 26th October. We got our independence in 15th August. Maharaja took more than 2 months to sign this instrument of accession. He was dreaming of having his own independent Jammu and Kashmir without realizing he was bordering Pakistan, a treacherous state. So, by signing the instrument of accession, entire Jammu and Kashmir became part of India. And important thing is here, at that time, India didn't have any president. So Governor General Mr. Mountbatten was there, or Lord Mountbatten. He has signed this instrument of accession as the acceptance, that he was accepting the instrument of accession. That means he agreed to make entire Jammu and Kashmir. I am insisting on the word entire because we will come to little later what does this entire mean. Entire Jammu and Kashmir part of India. And see what happened here. This happened in 1st November 1947. Instrument was signed in 26th October, just after 5 days. British committed treachery. How British committed treachery? Though British surrendered its lease in 1st August, sorry, 1st August, British soldiers were there, and one of his captain, in collaboration with his Major W.A. Brown, I must frankly say that yes, they took bribe from the Pakistanis and raised Pakistani flag in Gilgit-Baltistan, declare Gilgit-Baltistan as the part of Pakistan, knowing it well that 5 days before that, Gilgit-Baltistan already has been made a part of India by signing of instrument of accession and by accepting their lord Mountbatten. So in spite of all this, because money speaks, so they spoke in favor of Pakistan. Not only that, they overthrew the government of Brigadier Ghansar Singh. And these dates, as I was mentioning, would be very important for any strategic analyst, for any historians, for any civil servants, and for anybody for common knowledge. We again repeat, 1st August, British surrendered Gilgit-Baltistan. 15th August, India got its independence. 26th October, Maharaja of Jammu Kashmir signed the instrument of accession. And 1st November, British committed treachery and Gilgit gone to Pakistan. Within 4 months from August to November, August, September, October, November, everything happened. Here we see the Gilgit Scouts logo. It's very interesting thing. Who are these Gilgit Scouts? It was raised by the British themselves in 1923. They were the local boys, as India also now doing it in Ladakh Scouts, because these are the local boys. They are fit to fight and they know the topography well. So they are the first defenders of the land. So why British raised them? Because in 1917 there was Bolshevik revolution in Russia, USSR. Bolsheviks were communists. So the Britishers were shit scared of the communists, and they thought they will directly hope over India through Gilgit-Baltistan. So they raised these Gilgit-Baltistan scouts. Important thing is here about this Gilgit-Baltistan is they wanted independence for Gilgit-Baltistan themselves. Here the twist. But Pakistan was already there. Pakistan wanted integration of Gilgit-Baltistan with Pakistan. Now some other disturbing facts about this Gilgit-Baltistan. As Gilgit Scouts wanted independence and Pakistan wanted integration, Azad Kashmir people opposed this Pakistani move of Gilgit-Baltistan integration to Pakistan. They also, like their Maharaja, thinking of independence of entire Jammu and Kashmir. So now they thought if a part of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Gilgit-Baltistan, is integrated with Pakistan, their dream of entire Jammu Kashmir becoming an independent state would never fructify. So what happened? Riots broke out. An interesting thing in Gilgit-Baltistan is, though most of them, or 90% are Muslims, 80% of them are Shia Muslims, and only 10% Sunni. But Shia or Sunni, though they are Muslims, they are always is after blood. So what happened? Sunnis from Pakistan started infiltrating in Gilgit-Baltistan and massacring the Shias. And this riot continued and still going on, and it saw its very ugly phase in 1989, sorry, 88, when Ziaul Haq regime was there in Pakistan. He preferred Sunnis to go to Gilgit-Baltistan and settle there, bringing a total demographic change so that Shias over the time their number become less and they become poor. So they should not have their own voice. In the process, Gilgit-Baltistan in 1970 was declared or named as a northern region by Pakistan. And another two disturbing facts are till 2018, Gilgit-Baltistan was governed by the Frontier Crimes Regulation by Pakistan. These frontier crime regulations are the British laws. They treat the tribal people of Gilgit-Baltistan as barbaric and uncivilized. It continued till 2018. And as a result, Gilgit-Baltistan has been a member state of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization since 2018, because we have seen this kind of membership for the Tibetan also, because Tibetan also they don't have independence. They are under Chinese rule, what they don't like or it doesn't help them. Now the important thing is the great game, the modern Gilgit-Baltistan, what is happening there. Here the main actors are China, Pakistan, of course India is there. And here I have given one map, that is the Karakoram highway. So China and Pakistan, they have constructed Karakoram highway. I have mentioned it here. Karakoram means black gravel in Turkic language. And for China's Belt and Road Initiative, they have extended that Karakoram highway from Abbottabad to Baluchistan. I will come to that. Here that CPEC or Belt and Road Initiative road, it started in Kashgar. Kashgar is in China, Xinjiang province of China. Here Xinjiang, Chinese for, and here it meets at Gawadar, that's at Arabian Sea. And here that Gilgit-Baltistan, this area. I am marking it with red that it becomes very clear. So this portion of the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, cutting through Indian Gilgit-Baltistan. Here the Gilgit-Baltistan is the jugular vein for CPEC. I think we all know what is jugular vein, yet for general knowledge, I will just mention jugular vein is a vein that supplies blood to the brain. So we can imagine the importance. If that vein is stopped or whatever is disturbed for any way, one will be brain dead. There will be no use. So here it is the same thing. We see the map here, Srinagar. It is Delhi. It is India. Now here the visuals of the actual China-Pakistan economic corridor. We have already seen it starts at Kashgar in Xinjiang province of Pakistan, ends in Gawadar in Balochistan. It is 3,000 kilometers long. Quite an effort, we must say. But important thing is, it's going through Gilgit-Baltistan, and Gilgit-Baltistan people themselves are protesting against it. They don't want increasing Chinese footprints in their land. They know what the Chinese are doing with their brothers in Xinjiang province, Uyghurs. And here, just one signboard. We have already talked about Dayamar Basha Dam. This is Pakistan Water and Power Development Authority. It is the dam site. What the Gilgit-Baltistan people opposing. So Gilgit-Baltistan at the top, and people are opposing the CPEC, and at the bottom we will Gawadar, and Gawadar people are also opposing against this Gawadar port. And here the Balus Liberation Army, they are asking or demanding for independence of entire Baluchistan, and they don't like the Chinese again, and they are opposing this Gawadar port and the China-Pakistan economic corridor in their land. Here India objected to it, and the CPEC, to my mind, is not only for economic gain of Pakistan or China, it is actually a strategic encirclement of India. Like the way China is trying to encircle India in the sea, string of pearls. Here the CPEC. Here again we can go back to the map after we so far have discussed. It will be more clear now. This is Aksai Chin, illegally occupied by China from India in 1963. This is Ladakh. This is very important area. This is Siachen Glacier. We are still there. They couldn't shake us up from there. We are there. So our last port is Siachen here, and here is India Cole, our northern point. And if we get Gilgit Baltistan, our northern point will be here with Afghanistan, 106 kilometers. Here that what we call POK, this is actually what we call POK. This area, they call it Azad Kashmir. The spelling is wrong here. It will be AZAD. Here Jammu and Kashmir. And India really got off-guarded by Chinese road in Shaksgam Valley. Shaksgam Valley, that's the part of Ladakh we have already discussed. It has been illegally ceded to China, and China has already constructed road here. This area of Shaksgam Valley around 5,000 square kilometers, not a small area. Here, the important thing, India's steps, what India is doing. India's parliament in February 22, 1994 passed a resolution stating that entire state, now Union Territory, of Jammu and Kashmir has been an integral part of India, and any attempts to separate it from the rest of the country will be resisted by all necessary means. This is a very strong declaration, and it came only in 1994. Why not before? As an Indian, I should ask 100 times, why not before? Why we have allowed our enemies to set their foot so strongly in our land? And another interesting thing here, I think the British realized their follies, their mischief in 1947. So in 2017, British Parliament came with a resolution stating that Gilgit-Baltistan is part of Jammu and Kashmir, and Jammu and Kashmir is part of India. Okay, we accept that, though it has come quite late. Now 5th August, just last year by this time, Government of India came up with the resolution to repeal Article 370. In short, this Article 370 gave some special rights to Jammu and Kashmir to show that it is a different state, but it is not. That has been repealed last year, 5th August 2009. Here our Honorable Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, in Parliament is in session. He spoke quite boldly. He almost akin to the great declaration of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He said, "Give me blood, I will give you Baltistan." This is a great statement. We all hope one day Gilgit-Baltistan become part of India. Now recently, Pakistan has started another drama that they will hold election in Gilgit-Baltistan. Pakistan president said, yes, election can be held. Supreme Court said the same thing, that yes, Gilgit-Baltistan elections will be there, but India opposed it because it is Indian land. Pakistan has no local standard to hold election in Gilgit-Baltistan. So India has issued a demarche to Pakistan. The demarche is nothing but diplomatic protest, demand, order, or whatever. That means you show your displeasure to the opposing country. Here, Gilgit-Baltistan, I will just touch it. They have 33. They have a legislative assembly of them, 33 members. So why I have put it there? This legislative assembly, 3 members are reserved, seats are reserved for technocrats. It's a very interesting aspect. In Gilgit-Baltistan Legislative Assembly, not many countries in their parliament are having reserved seat for technocrats. This is a quite good example for others that yes, we need all sorts of people to be the right representative of the people of the country or of the people, of course. Here, India moved quite fast recently. Indian Meteorological Department, they have included Gilgit-Baltistan in their weather forecast. And it is the first time, 6th May 2020, the date, we can see it here. They took it as a subdivision, that is Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Muzaffarabad. A good move, we should appreciate. And finally, we never can give up Gilgit-Baltistan. It is our land. Necessary, we have to get back even by military option. We have our strength now. I have given some photographs here. We have our Indian Army in place. We have our Air Force in the mountain. We have our BrahMos regiments. And our soldiers are always ready to go ahead. And these photographs no one should miss. It shows strength of India. Only few days back, 4-5 days back, it happened on 29th July. They are the Rafales. First time coming to land in Indian territory, they are permanent home. And these two, our trusted Sukhoi MK India actually, welcoming and escorting them in Indian sky. We know this photograph. This is INS Arihant. We have our strength. And we also have the backing of our friends in the arc of democracies. Mr. Modi here, our Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister, Japanese Prime Minister, Australian Prime Minister, and who doesn't know Mr. Trump? So, our final resolution is get back guilty Gilgate, bring back Baltistan, pounds on pork. Jai Hind, thank you.